Hello! This video is a follow-on from my previous video where I harmonized the first A section of Scrapple from the Apple. In this video I'm just going to show you a couple of different options I tried, as well as the second time ending, and I'm going to talk a bit more about macro structure. There are a couple of phrases that were very tricky to harmonize in Scrapple. The first bar is one of them, as is the third. Warning! I'm going to be going through some pretty advanced jazz stuff pretty quickly here, so hold on tight. It's not for beginners. I tried various bass lines for this phrase. Here were some of my options. All of the time I was aiming toward this target chord, trying to make that a solid point to land on to help give the phrase some direction. I tried harmonizing it as a C7 as well as a G minor. I thought a G minor may work as I could place a C7 chord for the next note. Here is what the first one sounded like. And here's the second one. What do you think? Do you have a preference? For me there isn't a lot of difference, and this is partly because of the speed of the phrase and where it comes in the head. Also looking at my macro structure, there aren't any major dramatic points in this part of the melody or bass line. I'll talk further about the macro structure later on in this video. I tried 3 different bass lines for this phrase, always ending on a C7 flat 9. This is the one I used in the first A. In the second A, I tried a hip chromatic line. And in the third A, I tried a line in contrary motion. This line goes right to the bottom of the baritone range. Notice how the inner parts, and hence chords, have changed to accommodate the changing bass lines. The first A is functional with descending dominant chords. The second you could argue is also functional with an E flat 7 flat 9 sharp 11, D7, G7 flat 9 over F, and a C7 flat 9. The third utilizes some diatonic chords with a G minor add 9, F6 over A, and then a B flat 13 flat 9, and then ending with a C7 flat 9. Here is each of them played by a sax section. See what one you like best. Before I come back and do bar 6, I'm going to look at the end, bars 7 and 8. As you may have seen in the other video, I used the scale passage to travel from the A minor to the D7 in the first A. In the second A with a different melody, I tried a chromatic descending line to the F. I quite like how this one reaches just below this previous F sharp. And the chords actually work out pretty well too. A flat 13 sharp 11, G minor 11, G flat 7 flat 9, and F 6 9. For the third A, I tried something different. I ended on the F up an octave. The bass line has a nice direction and goal-orientated motion here. It's a 1-4-5-1 progression. F 6 9 over A, B flat major 9, C7 flat 9, and an F 6 9. Okay, now back to the fourth phrase in bars 6 and 7. I wanted to tackle this phrase last because it affects the way I write the bass line for the whole A section, and it has to do with the macro structure I have talked about before. Good counterpoint exhibits variety and goal-orientated motion. That's from openmusictheory.com. So even though this chord is crying out for an F on the bottom, it's nice to avoid it as I have to hit the same pitch in bars 5 and 8. Otherwise there isn't enough movement and interest. Now this may seem like quite an extreme length to go to for a simple harmonization of a bebop head, but I like to think that it's this sort of small detail that will give the music more life and excitement. For instance, take a look at the last few bars of this third Symphonia by Bach in D major. Notice how the bottom voice doesn't repeat the root note and has excellent variety and goal-orientated motion. So in short, my bass line in bar 6 was affected by what the ending of each section was. For the first A, I could end soundly on the low F as the phrase ends on a D. For the second A, I chose the pitch A, the third of the chord, to avoid the repeat of the F a bar and a half later. And notice how I adjusted the whole line here to suit the new target pitch. For the third A section, I tried the 7th in the bass, an E, as I liked the way it could be seen as a leading note to the F a bit later. It does lead to a rather interesting chord however, an F6 over E, so we'll have to listen to see if it pays off. Here are the bass lines for each A section. Now they won't sound as mellifluous as the original head will sound, but as I mentioned before, I hope that they exhibit variety and goal-orientated motion. And here is the ending of each A section with the full harmony. And here is each A section. Let me know in the comments what one you like best. If you want the PDF score with full analysis, you can support me by purchasing it in the link below. Thanks!